All right, we're back at it once again here, and just for context, we are now in the spring of 2026 and we're making a good amount of progress on Project Overhaul. Now the last modification I just did, I did not do it on camera because I wanted all the credit to go to a couple different YouTubers. We got the infamous Project, and that's the video I followed to a T, and also KSL Customs because he also did a video. Go check out their channels, and also I'll link the infamous Project's video in the description below so you can see exactly what I did here, because again, I followed his instructions to a T and it worked out great. And what I'm talking about is a set of Malaysian Recaro seats in my Fox Body Mustang. And the way I got those in there was using infamous Project's video on how to mount your stock seat tracks to those cars, or to those seats. Now, it is a little bit involved. You need access to a welder. You need to do a little bit of fabrication work, not big, or you may have to take it to a shop to have it done for you. But again, I didn't video it because I wouldn't have done the video any justice. And again, I just followed the infamous Project's video to a T on how to get that done. So again, if you're interested in doing something like that, go check out his video. The seats are not a cheap upgrade, but it's one of those things that I decided I wanted to do to this car. Kind of a bucket list thing for this car. I spent the money. I saved up enough money to be able to do it because they're not cheap, but I'm happy that I did. Seats are very comfortable and go with the color scheme of the car, so something pretty unique. But again, check out those channels, KSL Customs and Infamous Project, if you want insight on how to install a set of Malaysian Recaro seats in your Fox Body Mustang. All right, so now moving on to the next set of upgrades we're doing to this car. Now, since we've done a lot of work to the brake system in the front of the car, including proportioning valve, gutting the original proportioning valve, brake lines, hydro boost conversion and stuff like that, now we're gonna move on to the rear and we're gonna convert those drum brakes over to disc brakes. I do have a kit with a bunch of different other pieces here to make that conversion 100% complete. So now we need to move this car from the dyno building over back to the shop so we can get access to a lift to start disassembling the rear axle and start making room for the new discs. Along with the disc brake conversion, we're also changing out the rear disc ebrake cables, along with the ebrake handle modifications that we need to do. So we'll go over all that stuff here in the kit components. It's actually a pretty nice kit. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us here to get this car essentially ready to bleed the brake system out with the new components, and then we start moving on to bigger stuff. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the car pushed over to the shop, up on a lift, and let's get started with the rear disc brake conversion. All right, we're back in the shop here. We're gonna get ready to put the car back up on the lift because we're about to tackle the rear disc brake conversion. The kit I purchased was from foxbodybrakes.com. It's their rear GT conversion instead of the Cobra. I wanted the smaller rotor so that way I can fit a 15 by 10 inch wheel in the back here, which I have for this car. The process is a little involved, but it's actually not too bad of a job. We're going to do a little bit of modification here that the instructions that come with it don't really call for, but we're going to do that anyway. Found some better ways to do the brake lines and stuff. So there's a good amount of work to do. I'm going to put you on a little bit of laps here and go over some of the pointers with this kit. It's pretty nice, not too expensive for what you're getting. And also we're going to get, when we get to it, we're going to tackle the e-brake system as well. We've got some modifications to do there. All right, so let's go ahead and get the car up on the lift and let's get to work. There, I got a good amount of work done already, so a little pause in the action here just to go over what we've done already. As you saw, we got the diff cover off, drained the fluid out, went ahead and got the axles out, went ahead and got this driver's side drum brake assembly off the car. Wasn't too much of a task. And we actually already got the new adapter plate on for the disc brake conversion to the actual axle housing itself. That's already bolt down, torqued on. And then we actually already got the bracket that holds the new caliper to the bracketry on and torqued on. So the next thing we're doing is that we're actually modifying our brake line to the new brake hose. The way the instructions call for it, it wants you to bend this factory brake line down and use a worm clamp to attach it to the axle housing. I don't like that idea, so shout out to Foxes Abroad because I'm using his idea here of just cutting the line at this original mounting point using this little bracket here. We're going to cut it, reflare it, and then attach the hose to that new location there, so that way it makes a nice little routing back down to the caliper, and so that should be much cleaner looking. Matt just ran to go get his brake flaring tool, so once he gets back we'll do that. We'll kind of wrap up this side here, and we'll be ready to move on to the other side. By the way, we already went ahead and got the ebrake cables out. That wasn't too bad of a job. Actually, they came out much easier than I expected, so didn't film that portion, but wasn't bad at all. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get this all wrapped up here on this side, and then we'll move on to the other side, and then over to the ebrake modification. Close. Yes, sir. All right, there's that modification.
Dead.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start filling up the fluids again and everything. We're gonna use our fancy transfer machine to fill up the rear axle. Got the friction modifier and a couple quarts of the 75W140. So we'll go ahead and get that filled up and then we'll move on. All right, feeling good after this one. This weekend we got a lot done, and we actually can see some of the fruits of our labor on this one because we got all the brakes set up completely finished out. The brakes are completely bled out. Everything's looking good under there. Got the e-brake functioning exactly as it should. So not too many headaches on this one, but I'm feeling good because you can actually see it. We're getting the parts piled down to bare minimum now, which is really, really nice. And then at the end there, we installed a J&M bumpsteer kit, which I had for probably a couple years. I completely forgot about it. It was just sitting in the parts pile. Even though I just installed brand new Moog tie rod ends, we zapped those off real quick and installed that bump steer kit. So now the suspension is pretty much complete. Got a couple things here and there we're gonna tackle along the way when other things come up. But I'm feeling good about this one, and I'm starting to feel really good about this project because we're actually putting new stuff on the car, which is always a nice sign in the middle of a big project like this. So that's pretty much gonna end the episode here. Greatly appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.